Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll continue with the JSON. So in the last video, with regards to JSON, we just saw that key serialization and serialization of data. And also apart from that, we saw that objects between Python object and JSON object, how it is getting transformed, each and every data type, how it is getting transformed. And also we just saw file read and file write operations of the JSON data. So in this video, we'll continue again, but we have come up with some kind of a complex script which does the reading, the same objects, I mean the same functions, but we have added, we have segregated it into multiple functions, and also we have added error handling part of it so that we will be able to find out what are all the exception classes available for the JSON, and also we are just parsing the data. So in the last video, we didn't see the parsing part of the data. So this video we will continue with the parsing. So I'll just run through the script here. So in order to, so whenever like you are going ahead and reading a script, right? So you should just start with the main, where the main is getting called. So there it is getting called here. So you might be coming across this, right, these methods. So if name equal to main, so what why do we use this? So we are calling the main function here, right? So this script, right, json underscore project dot file, so this file can be called by can be used as a module as well in some other file. That means you can import this file, and also you can use the methods unless or until those things won't get called. So likewise, whenever you are calling the mail function here, like you are just running the script itself directly instead of importing and executing the methods. If you are going to execute the same file itself, so in those cases you would be providing whatever execution needs to be done inside this block, if block. And right now we have called the main function here. So in the main function, this is the logic. So we have example string here, json string. So the same string I've taken it here. So we have devices list and also global. These are the two main primary keys here. And what we are trying to do is, in the try block, you are just trying to read this data. So you are just loading it, so you are just reading the json string and transforming it into a Python object. And what you are just are doing is, in the, say if it is not in the right format, you are using the json decode error. This is the exception, and you are just printing the exception and you are coming out of it. And now what you are doing is, you are just saving that whatever data into a new file. So this is the function for it. So we'll just see. So data is nothing but whatever Python object you are getting here, and that what you are doing is, you are just dumping. So you are opening the file name, and in the file name you are just dumping the data, and you are also having the try except blocks here. So if you are not able to write it, or if you are not able to like handle the data properly, it will go to the exception. It will throw an exception here. So you are just converting back to the json format, but this time you are just dumping it into a json file using the json.dumps. So now we have already saw json.load as well as json.dump here. Yeah, json.loads and json.dump here. And now what you are doing is, you are again reading the file again from the json file, you are reading it again. So we are using this function load json from file. So we'll just go and see. So in this file, what you are doing is, you are again loading it. So since we are loading it from a file or a file object, JSON file, what we are using is a load object, load method, and you have file not found error. So you have two exceptions here. One is file not found. Say, like there is not even a file called device underscore complexes.json. It would find and it would throw this error. And if there is any decode, the json, whatever json we retrieved, it's not correct, so you will get this error. So you have added two like exceptions based on the condition it would meet. And now we have loaded back again, and again now what you are doing, you are having a condition. So if loaded data is none, return. So why we are doing is, so whatever below steps you are going to do, that is dependent on this loaded data. So if the loaded data itself is not having any value, there is no point of pretty printing it or giving it to the another function. So you are just having this condition. If it is not empty only, you will proceed on this. And now what you are doing is you are just pretty printing it. So what you are printing, from that you are not printing the entire thing. So now you are just accessing the key called devices from the entire dictionary. So we'll just see what's the pretty printing. So this is nothing but again it is just converting it into a JSON. And what it is doing, it's a JSON string and with the indentation of 4, and also sort keys. So whatever previously whatever arguments we were using, we are just calling it again. And if there is any error, you are just printing that exception error printing, and what exception it has thrown, you are just printing it here. So now again you are initializing a variable called host name, and we are using the router one. So router one is nothing but it is already present as part of this file. So router name you have. So you are just finding that specific device alone. So devices is a list which is having multiple devices, but you are selecting and parsing only for one device. So this function is responsible for that. So for that input, what you are giving, you are giving the Python object and also the host name you need to parse it. So this function, what you are just retrieving the device info by the host name from the loaded JSON data. So you are just looping into it. So it is already a list here. So data of devices is nothing but the devices key would be a list, and it is consisting of multiple devices. And from that you are just matching with the host name. And once it is getting matched, you are returning it here. And if say like if the device itself is not found, so you are just returning it none. And apart from that, so this is one case, but there might be some other negative cases as well. Say your key itself not there is no other key, and some other key, type error, so the data structure format itself is wrong, whatever you are giving, and then you are throwing an exception for this. So for the positive scenario, you are just getting this chunk alone. Let me show that. So this is the say consider this as a dictionary. This is one entire dictionary. So in this case, you are just providing the key as devices. So this will be parsed, and from here also what you are doing is you are looping it. So this entire list is looped, and this will be the first element, and this will be the second element. And from here what you are saying, you are just matching it with the host name. So only this section will get read by the get host name, get device from the host name function. So only this chunk of data will get used here. So we'll just print and see one by one. Once we run the script, we'll get an idea. And what you are doing is, once you are getting some value, you are just again pretty printing that. And now you are just updating, you are just writing the data into a file. So we already have one dictionary, and we are just adding some new devices. And what you are doing is you are just adding the device using this add device function, which is nothing but you are just loading it into a JSON file again. So what we'll be using, so we are using here. Okay, so what we are using is we are again you are just checking for the device, and you are just appending, since it is already a list, right? What you are doing is you are just framing the data as of now. So you are not just pushing right away, you are just framing the data. So since it is a list, so you are just using the append function to append that new dictionary. It's a list of dictionaries, right? So using that, you are just appending it here. And once it is done, you are again saving the data. So here only what you are doing is you are using the json.dump method, and again whatever Python object you are already having, it is just converted into a JSON file now. And whatever updated file is we are using, so that file name is devices complex updated.json. So this is a new file which will be created during the execution. and whatever newly added device will get appended upon to the older data, and it will get stored as a JSON file. And these are just negative scenarios. So you are just trying to load a non-existent file. So I don't even have this file, but I'm just trying to load that data from that and converting it into a Python dictionary. So for that, just to show you that error handling works, so for that only we are using this. So the JSON load, it will file will not be found, so you will get an exception called file not found error. And again, what you are doing is you are just trying to print a invalid JSON data. So usually JSON sets and all, it won't it's not JSON serializable. So you are just pretty printing it, and what it will happen, so now you will get this error because of the dump function. So let us run the script and see. So in the same script itself, we have already handled all the four methods whatever we discussed in the previous video. And apart from that, you have added try except functions as well. And apart from that, you are parsing the data. So right, previous video we didn't do any parsing, we just printed it directly. But using the, since everything is converted as a dictionary, you can dictionary and a list, it's array, it can be either a array or a list of dictionaries or a list of something like that, right? So based on that Python methods, you are just parsing through and modifying as well, and you are capturing as well, and you are just retrieving some data. So we'll just run the script and see. Okay, so we'll just find the logs here. Loaded JSON from string. So this is the first print statement. So we'll see. So we have using the loads method, you have loaded the JSON from the string, and what you are there is no exception here. And now you are just saving to the file. So if you go to the save function and see, you are able to see that there is a print statement called data saved to this file name. So we have this line has got executed, this function has got executed successfully, and now you are loading the data back from the file. So now you are again opening the same file and converting it back into the Python object. So for that, you have got the print statement of devices complex.json, this print statement. And if it is not none, so what you are doing is you are just printing the devices key alone from that entire dictionary. So all devices. So if you are able to see here, this is only the devices part of a devices key alone, you are printing it here. And now what you are doing is you are just getting the device from the host name. So router 1, so this is the host name. And what you are doing, like I said, so you are just searching for that. So you are just looping through this list and just searching for the device for the dictionary which is having the key called host name and value called router 1. And if it is found, you are just returning that specific iterator alone. So in the first iteration itself, this is found, and it will return it here. So now, if you are able to see, you are just checking if the device, if it is, if return is not none, and again you are pretty printing it. So if you are able to see, it is printing, it is printed here, pretty printed here. And now we are trying to add a new section of the device. From the inside the list of dictionaries, you are appending one more dictionary here. So for that only you are using add device function. So let us just go to this function and see. So what it is doing, if devices not in data, so you are just checking whether that thing is already not there, and uh, you are just appending that from the data previously there, you are just appending one more dictionary to the already present list here, and that is also added. And that's why you are printed, you are just printing device firewall 1 added. So you are using that get attribute. So what it is nothing but, you can also gather the keys using this method. So device.dict is nothing but the dictionary name, and you can get it using the method called get. and you are able to see here, right? So this is the key name, and this is the default argument. This is the default value for it. So whenever you are passing something, so we'll in the coming videos we'll see something as positional arguments and the quarks. So those things, if you are in those videos, I'll explain why we are calling this in this manner. And now the device has been added here as per the print statement. Now you are again saving it to the file. So the device, the data saved to the new file, and now you are just trying to load a non-existent file, right? So what you are doing is you are just printing an error here. So we'll just see error. So you are just trying to load the file. It is throwing a error, file not found here. This printing you are able to see here, right? And now you are just pretty printing it here. So you are able to see that object type of set is not serializable. So you are just trying to print it here. So this is the, these are all the things we are just went through this video. Thank you guys. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe.